My husband likes eating French fries. This is sort of random, I understand. So we like making them in the air fryer, like with a real potato. So he said, why don't we buy a French fry cutter? Because then you don't have to hand cut them. And I was like, okay, that seems like maybe an okay idea. But you look it up, right? A French fry cutter is like this large. It's huge. And I'm like, where am I gonna store this to make French fries once a month? It just seems like a product that's not worth the real estate in my home. I am very critical when I am looking at products, when I'm watching other people review products or share, like they're like best Amazon product ever. I'm extremely critical about these things, but I love it when I can find products that I think are super effective, that I use all of the time. So today, that's sort of what I'm going to be sharing with you, is some of these sort of innovative, hyped up, viral type kitchen products from Amazon that actually are worth it. Okay, so this is the Adjust-A-Cup, and I think this is such a smart product because it allows you to measure both metric or standard. Canister essentially just plunges into itself, meaning you're able to adjust the cup size to exactly whatever measurement you want. It's got a sort of like waterproof seal along the inside, so you can do liquids, semi-solids, solids. I just think this is a brilliant reinvention of like a standard measuring cup, because not only is it all in one, so you don't need to have like 5 different cup sets, but I also think serving from this thing is really unique as well. So certainly if you have something you're measuring like a cup of flour or whatever, you can measure out a cup of flour and pour it in like you would with a regular measuring cup. But where this really, I think, takes the cake, if you will, is you can put something like, imagine doing honey or peanut butter or coconut oil, right? Usually you have to put it into the container and then you're like scooping it back out of the container. This bad boy, you just press it and all of your product falls, or all of your ingredients just fall right into the bowl. So it's so good for those sort of like semi-solid type things. And I feel like I can get really good, nice, precise measurements with this. A measuring cup is something that's just nobody has thought to really reinvent in a long time, and this is the right way to do it. Okay, next up we have this Kitchen Mama. This is a can opener. Now I have the Z-less can opener, and I've talked about that can opener for years because I love it. It's just your standard can opener. I, for whatever reason, used a lot of really inferior can openers for a long time, and when I finally discovered that one, it really is the best just like manual can opener. But when I saw this product, I was like, you know what? I really need to try it because it is an automatic can opener. And I'm like, I don't know, that's pretty cool. It's got a little magnet piece here and you just kind of like tap it onto the top of your can. So the edge of the can sits between like the blade and the little rotor. Then you just have to press the button and it will do the rest of the work for you. It will essentially open your can. So I mean, this is kind of nice. So you can stick it on, press the button, and then you can like go back to doing some cooking and come back and the can has been open for you, which is pretty neat. But what I also really like about this is the way that it actually cuts the can. It does it more along like the edge, and so you don't get as sharp of a like cut. I actually cut myself pretty bad about a month ago on a can that I had opened with a manual can opener. Just makes it a little bit more automatic, a little bit easier, and overall a little bit safer. All right, next up is, I just realized that the brand of this is Cranky Chef, which is hilarious. I don't know exactly what this is called. It's like knife scissors or like a veggie slicer or whatever, but basically it looks like kind of like a set of kitchen shears, but the bottom one has this sort of like almost like a little flat built-in cutting board. So it's sort of like a cutting board plus knife plus scissors all met each other. You can sort of just take items and just sort of chop them and slice them this way, as opposed to having to put them down on a cutting board and cut them. Now, lots of things, cutting them on a cutting board is not that big of a deal, but I have found that this product is really helpful for certain things. Like if I'm cutting up a bunch of herbs, this is way easier to cut. For certain vegetables like carrots and cucumbers, this makes it really easy to slice them. I also love using it for chopping things for my kids. Like the other day we were having pasta and we had like the long pasta noodles, which my youngest, like it's just too long for her. So I can just like chop, chop, chop really quick and chop across all of the pasta. It's one of those products that like once you have it, you find all sorts of little helpful uses for it. Okay, so let's talk about this chopping, I wanna call it like a chopping box, which I know is not what it's technically called. I had been seeing these everywhere, all over, and I was very hesitant to try one because I was like, it just seems like one of those kitchen products that's like one of those as seen on things that really don't deliver once they arrive. But I am someone who does a lot of slicing and dicing. I like to eat a lot of different kinds of salads with like sliced cucumbers and onions. And every time I saw one of these shared, I kept thinking it would be nice. Like if that product worked, it would be really nice. So after doing some research, I picked the one that I really thought was the best. But basically the way that this works is it's got a couple of different chopping blades, and then it's got a couple of sort of like mandolin. Is mandolin the word I'm looking for? Like the slicing type blade. The first time I tried it, I didn't press down the top with enough oomph, and I immediately was like, oh great, this is like a total dud, just like I thought that it was gonna be. But I kept trying it out over the series of a couple days, and I finally realized that you have to give it like a good little, like, you're really like giving it a slap. Do you guys remember as seen on TV, there was like the slap chop? It makes me think of that, because like you gotta like slap it down. But if you give it a good little slap, then literally whatever you're chopping is gonna go directly through the blades, and you're gonna get like an amazing dice. Like once I realized that I just had to give it a little bit more of a slap, I was like, oh my God, this actually is really brilliant. It cuts through things amazing. It gives you a nice even dice of whatever you're doing in way less time than if you were going to hand dice it all. And then of course there is the like slicer option. Now my other concern about this was the convenience of it dicing for me wasn't going to be worth like the trade-off of how much time it was going to take me to like wash this and manage it. And like I was kind of worried it was gonna be a high maintenance piece in that aspect. And I think that's part of the reason I avoided one of these for so long, because I was like, sure, maybe it's gonna dice it really fast, but then I'm gonna have to spend 20 minutes cleaning it and figuring out how to store it. And I will say that I was actually proven wrong here as well. It cleans really, really easily. It's also dishwasher safe, so you can just like pop it into the dishwasher and let it do its thing. Most of it fits right inside like the little plastic container, and then the top goes closed, and then actually comes with these two little canisters that hold the different blades for you. So like storage of it is actually really quite easy. Now I'd say that this is one of those products that it really depends like how much cooking you're doing. Again, I'm somebody who probably eats some type of chopped or diced salad almost every single day. We eat a lot of soups that involved diced vegetables. With my children, we have a lot of food that we are either grating or slicing. This is mostly a product for like getting different types of slicing and dicing out of your vegetables. So keep it in mind. You might see it, you might be like, oh, that's really neat. But if that's not like your diet and the types of foods that you already eat a lot of, it might not make sense for you. All right, next product. This is called, I think this is called like a meat smasher, which what a horrible name. Hold on. It is called a meat smasher. Oh, meat chopper. Is meat chopper better than a meat smasher? I don't really know, guys. We usually eat something that involves some type of ground meat at least once a week. And something about it is like you throw it into the pan, right? You're cooking it, and then you're usually using like a spatula to try to chop it up because it will start to stick together as you're cooking it. This tool, I ended up getting it last year, and the first time I used it, I was like, wait, why is this so brilliant? It's just designed so that you can like press it down and twist, and it perfectly keeps your like ground meat ground up. So you're getting nice, even pieces of it. Now it does say in the description that it can be used for other mashing of things, like potato mashing and also like chopping up eggs if you're gonna make egg salad. I haven't tried that yet. So it is nice to know that maybe you could use this product for other things. And a little insight, I have been told by some of you guys on Instagram that you can actually find these at the Dollar Tree. I have not seen one at my Dollar Tree, but if I see one next time I'm shopping, I will definitely be grabbing it. All right, next product is actually a cleaning product, but it is the Scrub Daddy's Power Paste. It comes with the sponge, and then the container that holds the Power Paste is the same size as the sponge, so you can literally just stick the sponge right into the container, get what you need, and then get to cleaning. Now, Power Paste is a chemical-free cleaning and polishing compound, and it works really great with the Scrub Daddy sponge. It has this natural grit to it, so when combined with the dish scrubber, it really helps to remove stubborn residue. I love this in the kitchen for like that baked on type of grease, or in my sink, I get a lot of residue that really will build up, obviously just from like holding dirty dishes. Just an amazing product to have in your arsenal in your kitchen, but to use in places like your pots and your pans, to use on your oven, to use on the stovetop, that like kind of baked on grease inside of the microwave, when you need just like that little bit of extra oomph, the Scrub Daddy with this Power Paste together, I find it like a really good combo. All right, my last product that I want to share is kind of more of an organizational type product to be using in your kitchen, but that is tidy wraps. I've used Command cord bundlers in the past on my kitchen appliances, and this does work really well, but a tidy wrap is like specifically designed for small appliances, so I feel like it is just a little bit better in the way that it's designed to stick onto the appliance and the way that it has actually like a spot where the outlet clicks in. So the outlet piece doesn't kind of hang, which is kind of nice. And this keeps all of your cords nice and bundled, because when you have a cabinet, we currently have a cabinet that's like our small kitchen appliance cabinet. We've got a blender, we've got our air fryer, we've got the KitchenAid. Having cords well managed in there can make or break how organized that cabinet is. These cords just end up all over the place, and it's hard to stack your appliances in there. It seems like a silly thing, but the cords really do make kind of a mess in there and can make it a lot harder to keep things tidy. So I love this tidy wraps because as soon as you're done with the appliance, you can quickly wrap it around. It's going to keep the cords tidy in your cabinet and just make it a lot easier to keep all of your appliances more well organized in there. All right, my friends, that does it for today's video. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Remember to be kind to yourself and others, and I will see you all in my next video.